In this installment, we're going to be going over the Week 6 early slate. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our Week 6 early slate, all the 1 o'clock games. Plus, we have another London game here, 9:30 start between the Jets and Broncos. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Mets-SD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91, and don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 10.3 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 20K, and we're well on our way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. If you already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm so you can grow to a much broader audience. All right, now we absolutely destroyed it on Thursday. If you tuned in, you missed out on a banger and a big upset as well. All right, we want these videos over 1,000. all right, 805 is solid, but it could have been way more than that, and you guys missed out on a great video there. I told you how this was a spot that Jalen Hurts tends to not show up in, and you saw how bad the Eagles looked. Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, the energy that they have flowing right now with the New York Giants, it was a perfect bounce back spot for them back at home, and we covered that number plus 7.5. They outright won. And if you was on a Patreon, as you can see, we had the plus 7.5. If you were on Patreon, you got this plus 711 parlay here. Jalen Hurts, Jackson Dart, keeping it plain and simple. That came through and cashed all the way in the first quarter. So very good Thursday that we had. If you guys want to join this Patreon, you click on that link provided down below, and you're going to get full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat. It goes out 24/7, especially to that group chat, because it's not just me all by myself. We have everyone in there killing it and putting up plays, like I said, 24/7 in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Like I said, this is the London game here for this week. In Week 6, we got the Jets 0-5 going against the Denver Broncos 3-2 in this one here. Looking at the current odds, we have the Broncos on the road, well, technically as the road team, minus 375, with the comeback of the Jets at a plus 300, point spread at a 7.5, total points at 43.5. Looking at the public bet percentage here, let me go over to the odds here, and so we can get to this public bet percentage. For these two teams, we have, it's going to be heavily on the public side here. 92% of the bets, 86% of the money all over Denver. For the point spread, 62% of the bets, 62% of the money all over Denver to cover the 7.5. And for the total, 52% of the public on the under, 67% of the money here towards the over 43.5 on that total. All right. Now, with these two teams here, if we're looking at them coming off their previous performances, obviously we had it was an embarrassing performance here from the New York Jets against Dallas. That was a spot that they should have took full advantage of. They did not. The defense, yet again, and miscues with penalties continually, week after week, has really cost this team opportunities, despite the fact they've stayed relatively competitive in most of these games here. So against Dallas, got dominated. The running game was efficient, and they could not capitalize on, they couldn't stop Dallas, period. All right, Denver coming off back-to-back wins. They dominated Bengals and then came off a big win against Philadelphia, coming back down by 14 in the fourth quarter and had a huge rally. All right, so definitely a good spot there for Denver. Now, looking at the injury report here, we do have some positive news for the Jets. Finally, they get one of their better pass rushers here. They can have a 1-2 punch with Will McDonald, and Jermaine Johnson is finally back for the Jets. He's missed like the last 3 to 4 weeks of this season. Everyone else is fine for the Jets. That's positive news there. For the Denver Broncos, they're going to be without Ben Powers, their stud guard, and Jonah Ellis, their linebacker. All right, so we got some 2 question marks there. Malcolm Roach is questionable, but he's most likely going to play since he had full practices at least twice this week. All right, so big help there for the D line. Will McDonald, Quinnen Williams, and Jermaine Johnson is supposed to be their three pass rushers here and disruptors on that D line for the New York Jets. That's going to be a positive there. All right. Looking at this matchup in particular, all right. Now you got a game in London, okay? No one's home in this one. Who shows up? We got time zones that are big factors here. Looking at what we've seen passing yards against allowed, both of these teams are good secondary wise. The issue with the Jets, they can't stop the run, all right? Hopefully they can somehow get something going here so they can stop J.K. Dobbins and the Denver Broncos here. But if they go to this one, that can be their bread and butter for the Denver Broncos to go up against the Jets, all right? Running the football against this defense, all right? Now, my call for this one with this line at 7.5 and a neutral site, I'm going to be leaning with the Jets plus 7.5, all right? The 7 and a hook is a dangerous number here. I'm liking what I'm seeing from this offense here is, can the defense stop Denver, all right? So I like what I see from the Jets offense and Breece Hall, back-to-back 100-yard games. I think both of these teams can get the run game going. J.K. Dobbins can have a good game and Breece Hall can have a good game here. They just got to stay with the rushing attack. It's been working. It's been working. Do not go away from it. So this one here, top play plus 7.5 with the Jets. For the total, I am going to go under the total, 43.5 in the total for here between these two teams. In the Lucas Oil Stadium here, we have the Indianapolis Colts 4-1 going up against the Arizona Cardinals 2-3. For the odds in this game here, we have the Colts as home favorites minus 350 with the comeback of the Cardinals at a plus 280. Point spread at 7, total points at 47 here. Looking at the current odds, public bet percentage here, for this matchup here, AFC versus NFC. We have 92% of the bets, 89% of the money all over Indianapolis Colts. For the point spread, 68% of the bets, 73% of the money for Colts to cover. And for the total points, 58% of the bets towards the under, 74% of the money towards the over 47 in the total. All right, sharps are highly on the over in this game here. All right, now looking at these two teams here, we have Colts having a dominating win over the Las Vegas Raiders 40-6. Cardinals, heartbreaking loss. The fact that they allowed Tennessee to get back in this game was an absolute embarrassment. And now the Cardinals are on a 3-game losing streak right now. Colts are pretty comfortable 4-1 as of right now. Looking at the injury report here, this one's going to be tough to handicap because we really are waiting on one person in news, and that pretty much sums it all if you want to side with one side or the other. All right, for the Cardinals, Darius Robinson's out. We have Kyler Murray, who's highly questionable. That is the key factor here. Will Kyler Murray play in this game? Right now, we do not know as of right now. And if he doesn't play, it will go to Jacoby Brissett. And then we're going to be very heavily on the side of the Colts. All right. For the other outs here, everyone else is questionable for the Cardinals. For the Colts, we have no Kenny Moore, their stud slot corner, and Tyler Goodson is out. They're back, third string running back for the Colts here. Now, for this one, plain and simple, passing yards allowed. The Colts should be able to pass all over this team here. Daniel Jones, as long as he doesn't falter, they got this run game going that's been solid. As long as they're consistent with that, then that's going to open up things with the passing game. And I have full confidence here in the Colts here. The question is Kyler Murray going to play? If Kyler Murray is going to play, then that +7 is live. All right. If Kyler Murray does not play, then I have to go with the Colts with the -7, and then I would go with the under 47 because I don't believe in the Cardinals to keep up pace and put up points as well. All right, so this is how we're going to play it. If Kyler does play, then +7 and over 47 in the total. If Kyler does not play, -7 Colts and under 47 in the total. In Hard Rock Stadium here, we have the Miami Dolphins 1-4 going up against the LA Chargers 3-2. Looking at the current odds for this one here, we have Chargers -200 on the road with the comeback of the Dolphins at a +165. Point spread at 4, total points at 43.5. for that total. All right, now looking at the public bet percentage here, we have 88% of the bets coming in on LA, 90% of the money coming in on Chargers. For the point spread, 71% of the bets, 55% of the money here coming in on the Chargers to cover. So a little bit more of the sharps in the middle on the point spread here, slightly leaning toward Miami to cover. And for the total, we have 53% coming in on the under, and then 51% of the money coming in on the over. So pretty much split on that end as well. Looking at the injury report, Joe Alt is out for the Chargers. He was hurt last week. He's going to be out of this game. Darius Davis, their special teamer, he's going to be out. Deshaun Hand, D lineman, out. Trey Pipkins, guard and tackle, out. So they're dealing with some issues here on that offensive line. And we got a big question mark on Jamari Saylor as well. He is, had 2 DNPs and is highly questionable in this game as well. All right, so some issues here coming in on the side of the offensive line of the Chargers, which was a strength coming into this beginning of the season. All right, for the Miami Dolphins, Elijah Campbell, DB, he's out. Tyrell Dodson, linebacker, he's out. And then we got question marks on Aaron Brewer and Storm Duck. Storm Duck has missed like the last 2 to 3 weeks, and getting him back would be a plus, despite the fact that this is a poor secondary anyway. All right, this is a very bad defense for the Miami Dolphins. All right, now in this one here, we got back-to-back losses for the Chargers, obviously being shocked by the Giants, and then the comeback of Jaden Daniels here against Washington. They could not contend with them despite a strong start in the first quarter. They lost by 17 points. Miami, on the other hand, they beat the Jets, which they usually do in Miami, and then against Carolina, they were up big, and they faltered and let that lead come away. This is a perfect bounce back spot here for the Chargers. All right, Chargers should take full advantage of this team here. 32nd in the league rushing yards allowed. So despite they got some backups here with the injury to Omarion Hampton, they should be able to run all over. Jim Harbaugh should be salivating over this matchup here, and that's going to open up things. If they can run the ball with Haskins and Kamani Vidal, that's going to open up for their trio of wide receivers in this poor secondary as well for the Miami Dolphins. So main play here is going to be Chargers on the money line. If you want the better value, the secondary play will be Chargers -4. I do think they can cover this number here. I love the Chargers in this spot against the Dolphins. Main play, Chargers money line. In Caesars Superdome here, we have the New Orleans Saints 1-4 going up against the New England Patriots 3-2. If we're looking at the odds in this matchup here, we have New England as road favorites -190. Saints on the comeback at a +155. Point spread at a 3.5. Total points at 46. On that total. For the public bet percentage here, we have 90% of the bets, 96% of the money on New England. For the point spread, we have 71% of the bets, 73% of the money on New England to cover. And for the total points, we have 54% of the bets coming in on the under 46, and then we have 67% of the money towards the over 46. All right, now this game here, very interesting spot. Before I go in a little more deeper here, injury report: Antonio Gibson had torn Achilles, torn ACL, excuse me. He's out for the year. That opens up things for Travion Henderson. Jalen Hawkins, their safety, he's going to be out. Anthony Jennings, linebacker, he's out. And Keon White, DN, he's going to be out as well. So they're missing some pieces here on the defensive side of the ball. Anthony Jennings and Keon White and Jalen Hawkins. All right, Q tags on Christian Gonzalez. That'll be he was limited in 2 games, limited in 2 practices. He should be able to play, and that's going to be a positive to get their number 1 cornerback. All right, for the New Orleans Saints, we're just missing Isaac Yiadom, who is their cornerback. He's going to be out. There's still been issues here with this offensive line. Slowly getting healthier. Trevor Penning coming back. He's looking like he's fine to play. And then Chase Young might be back for his first game. Finally, he's missed every single game this year. He might be finally back for the Saints in this matchup here. All right, now New England Patriots coming off a big win against their rival Buffalo Bills, and they're on back-to-back wins, handling Carolina and then beating Buffalo in Buffalo. And then on the other end, Saints, huge comeback against the Giants because they were given 5 turnovers in a row, and they were able to take advantage of that take advantage of a gassed defense in the New York Giants as well. This is going to be a different situation. I see the confidence here from the New England Patriots as well, and they're going to have to be able to be efficient rushing the football because this defense here is allowing the 20th most yards per game so far. That's really been the weakness of this Saints team, is allowing rushing yards. That's why it looks like the passing defense, it looks strong. That's 9th overall, but truly it isn't. It's just that they've just been giving up so many yards on the defensively against their opponents. All right, now for this game, I really like to see Drake May take it to a whole nother level. Him, Stephon Diggs, he broke out. He was highly motivated in that game. And who's going to emerge as the running back? Is it going to be Ramondre Stevenson or is it going to be Trevion Henderson? Both of these guys definitely have opportunities to exploit this New Orleans Saints defense. All right, so if they can control that, I have no issues here on the other side of the ball with the New England Patriots defense. Despite some guys being out here, they should take full advantage of Spencer Rattler, who has only won 1 game in his entire career. All right, this should be a spot where it should be very easy for the Patriots to get this W. I like them on the money line as the main play. I know that 3.5 looks scary because you never know. This is a road team and you're giving 3 and a hook, and there's a lot of question marks when it comes to that. So I'm not going to touch that one. Main play is going to be money line. Secondary play will be over 46. I think the Patriots put up a big number here against the Saints, and it forces the Saints to play a little bit catch up and then force some turnovers from there. In Accu-Shore Stadium here, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers 3-1, and then we have the Cleveland Browns here 1-4. Looking at the current odds for this matchup here, we have the Steelers as minus 275 with the comeback of the Cleveland Browns at a plus 225. Point spread at 6. Total points at 38.5. All right, now for the public bet percentage here, looking at these numbers, we have 90% coming in bet wise on Pittsburgh, 93% of the money coming in on Pittsburgh on the money line. For the point spread, 58% of the bets, 62% of the money on Pittsburgh to cover. And for the total, we have 57% of the bets and 81% of the money towards the over 38.5 on this one. So in division matchup, classic battle between the Steelers and the Browns. And in the last 10 games, the Browns and the Steelers are pretty even, 5-5. It's been really tightly contested back and forth between these two teams. Looking at the injury report here, Jalen Ramsey questionable, we have Calvin Austin, their number 2 wide receiver, is going to be out. Everyone else seems to be fine for the Steelers. For the Browns, we have Mike Hall, D tackle. He's going to be out, and everyone else is going to be fine for the Cleveland Browns. So a pretty healthy team here if we're looking at pretty much on both sides for these two teams. We saw a very inspired performance here from Dylan Gabriel in his first game against Minnesota in London. They should have came away with that win. Some mistakes there defensively allowed the Vikings to come back and with their high octane offense. All right, now Steelers on the other end, same opponent against the Vikings. They shouldn't have won that game, but Steelers win against the Minnesota Vikings 24-21 in a close battle. They played the Vikings very similarly. Both teams, Browns had chances to win, and then the Steelers handled their business and from a miscue, from a turnover, and took advantage of that one there. All right, now passing yards allowed. It's going to be really big to see here. Technically, the best unit here defensively is the Browns defense, if we want to compare it to the Steelers defense. And if Dylan Gabriel can open things up against this poor secondary, then that can be their avenue. They got plenty of weapons here with David Njoku, Harold Fannin, Jerry Jeudy, Isaiah Bond that they can get the ball to, and Quinshon Judkins. Take advantage of this 30th ranked team in their secondary here, allowing 260 yards per game, and 28th overall in total yards. At least the Browns defense, they can stand on that they've been solid this season. It was great against the Packers. They got embarrassed against Detroit and against Baltimore, but that's if the quarterback makes miscues and then things get really out of hand. All right, this in-division matchup here, I'm gonna be leaning towards the points. Okay, so in this one here, I don't have confidence at all in the Steelers to cover this number. I like the feistiness of this Browns team. Give me the Browns +6 as the main play. Secondary play will be over 38.5. I think the total is a little bit too low. In Bank of America Stadium here, we have the Carolina Panthers 2-3 going up against the Dallas Cowboys 2-1. Looking at the current odds for this one, we have Cowboys road favorites -170. Panthers want to come back at a +140. Point spread at a 3. Total points at 49.5. Looking at the public bet percentage here, we have 89% of the bets and 95. This is such a setup, and 95% of the money on Dallas. 70% of the bets coming in on Dallas to cover, but finally somebody 53% of the money coming in on Carolina to cover. All right. For the total point, 65% of the bets towards the under, 59% of the money coming in on the over. I'll say so. Public and sharps are opposite on the total. In this one, things could get run up here really, really quickly and really, really easily here. Starting off with the injury report, you're about to see the difference in the injury report. For the Panthers, Caleb Evans out. Chuba Hubbard out for a second week in a row, but that's actually a positive. Taylor Moton, tackle, he's out. Tershawn Wharton is out again. He's been out for the last couple weeks for the Carolina Panthers. Dallas Cowboys are missing a ton of guys. Tyler Brooker's out. CeeDee Lamb out. Jack Sanborn out. Miles Sanders out for the year. Kevontae Turpin out. And then we have some we got some questionables on Jonathan Mingo, who had 2 DNPs, and that's about it. So they're still dealing with a lot of issues, especially on that O-line as well, where they were missing a ton of guys. But that didn't matter against the Jets. It's going to matter against the Panthers in this D-line and offense as well. All right, so last week we saw the Panthers get right against Miami. Things awaken, and we had a great performance from Rico Dowdle. You should know that name, Rico Dowdle, because he was with the Dallas Cowboys last year, and against Miami, he was just getting warmed up. He ran for over 200 yards. He ran for over 200 yards, and now he's going up against the 22nd ranked rush defense in the league. They're allowing 127 yards per game, and they are 32nd dead last in passing yards allowed as well. This Carolina Panthers defense is very solid. We saw them shut out Atlanta. We saw them keep it close, keep themselves in it against Miami, allow a comeback. They got blown out by New England. That's understandable, but they kept it alive against Arizona. But just was the first 2 wins, the defense wasn't the issue. It was the offense not operating at all. All right. So if this thing can get turned around, what we saw against Miami, that's only going to bode well because that run game is working. Rico Dowdle circled this game, and now he gets the opportunity to go up against his former team. And clearly he thinks that they made a mistake in this one. And I think that this line is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Why? This team is very bad. Cowboys are very bad. Panthers are bad, but they're not as bad as the Dallas Cowboys. Give me the +3 on the point spread as the main play. Secondary play will be Panthers on the money line. I think they have a great shot to get this win here at home as the underdogs. And for the total, easily give me the over 49.5. I think they put up a big number against the Dallas Cowboys. All right, so main play +3, secondary play will be Panthers on the money line, and I do like the over in the total. In Everbank Stadium here, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars 4-1 going against the Seattle Seahawks 3-2. Looking at the odds for this matchup here. Give me 1 second. All right, let me start this one. All right, looking for the odds here. We have a dead split here. It is even, -110, -110. This is a pick'em. Point spread at a 1. Total points at 47.5 between Seattle and the Jaguars. Looking at the current odds, let's see if public and sharps are split down the middle as well. We got 57% of the bets, 75% of the money all over Seattle, and that's why this line has moved to a pick'em. And then for the point spread, 66% of the bets, 82% of the money towards Seattle as well. For the total, 56% of the bets coming in on the under, 77% of the money coming in on the over 47.5 in the total. All right, now looking at the injury report, we'll start off with Seattle. Seattle's dealing with similar issues defensively that they dealt with earlier in the season, with cornerback Devin Witherspoon out, Reek Woolen out, Julian Love out, Josh Jones out, and Derek Hall out, their linebacker. So they're missing 4 guys on the defense. This is kind of something not new for them because they were dealing with defensive injuries earlier in the year and still look fine. But obviously, you want Reek Woolen in, you want Devin Witherspoon in. Those are significant injuries for the defense, okay? Question mark is really Trevor Lawrence. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, only Robert Hainsey, their O-lineman, he's going to be doubtful and out of this game. All right, now, looking at these two teams, Jacksonville coming off a game they shouldn't have won against the Chiefs. They shouldn't have won that game. That was ridiculous what we saw in that fourth quarter. And they got by in that one. So they're on a 3-game winning streak. They beat San Francisco, beat Houston, and then somehow beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Seattle went on a run 3 in a row and then lost to Tampa Bay in a crazy shootout that went back and forth. All right. But the talent... the better quarterback, really, that's the reason why that went over. All right, so now defensively here, technically passing yards allowed, Seahawks are 24th in the league, and really the Jaguars are even worse, 27th. Sam Darnold has looked very efficient this season. He's top 5 in all the categories for quarterbacks as well. And then we have a solid run game here. They got a 2-headed monster with Seattle that they can definitely rely upon. And the Seattle Seahawks stop the run as well. So if you can stop Travis Etienne, for the Seattle Seahawks, which they should, going by the numbers, then you really make the Jaguars one-dimensional, and you obviously take advantage of the inconsistencies from Trevor Lawrence. All right, and in this matchup here, I think we got an advantage at quarterback, advantage at coach, advantage all around to me. They really got by Jacksonville. I love Seattle in this one. We're getting to pick them here. So obviously everyone thinks that this is a 50-50 coin toss type of a game. And I do not believe in the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are the fakest 4-1 team. Give me Seattle on the money line, -110. If I'm taking a total, I think that I'll take the under. I think that despite the fact of the injuries, Seattle's defense still show us because of how bad Trevor Lawrence is. And I'm going to be taking the under 47 in the total and giving the Seattle Seahawks running the football with their 2-headed monster and Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet, creating from that with play action and getting JSN involved. So Seattle main play money line, secondary play under 47.5 on the total. Right, in M&T Bank here, last but not least, we have the Baltimore Ravens going against the LA Rams. Ravens 1-4, Rams 3-2. Looking at the current odds for this one, we have the Rams as minus 425 with the comeback of the Ravens at a plus 325. Point spread at 7.5. Total points at 44.5. Looking at the public bet percentage in this one, 88% of the bets, 88% of the money all over the Rams. For the point spread, 69% of the bets, 82% of the money coming in on Rams to cover. And for the total, 73% of the bets, 76% of the money towards the over 44.5. All right. Now, I get big question marks here because we have a big injury. All right. For the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson will be out yet again. Cooper Rush will be the starting quarterback. And they're missing tons of guys as well. No Chidobe Awuzie, he's out. We have Emory Jones, tackle, he's out. Patrick Ricard, fullback, he's out. Roquan Smith, that's significant, he's out. Devontae Walker, he's out as well. All right, for the LA Rams, Tutu Atwell's questionable. Rob Havenstein is out. He's doubtful. That's like 2 weeks in a row. Omar Spates is doubtful. And then Kobe Parkinson is questionable here. All right, so this is a clear discrepancy in talent between these two teams. Because you're missing your leader. We have question marks here, and you become one-dimensional if you want to rely on Derrick Henry. All right, that's why they're going to be utilizing Keaton Mitchell a little bit more. He's more explosive. But trying to stop this LA Rams offense is going to be hard because how bad this defense is. And you got major injuries. You're missing your leader in Roquan Smith, missing guys in the secondary, and you got to deal with Puka Nacua, Matt Stafford, and Devontae Adams, not to mention Kyron Williams. This is a complete no-show here, and I'm going to go with a clean sweep with the LA Rams. Rams minus 7.5, and I'll take the total over 44.5. That's how big of a number I think that the Rams can put up in this one. Hopefully, Cooper Rush can salvage some type of points and some type of offense here, because he looked absolutely horrible last week in his game against the Houston. They allowed the Texans to beat them by 34. Is absolutely insane. So yeah, give me a clean sweep on the Rams. That's going to be our breakdown for the early slate for Sunday. Let me know in that comment section down below if you agree or disagree. We could definitely debate about that. Also, get signed up for that Patreon. Click on that link provided down below. You're going to get full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes up 24/7. This is your boy Chef D. I'll be back very soon, and peace out.